let's go ahead and kick it off with number 5, and that is the, I don't know, what is number 5? Heisenberg? Today's video is brought to you by Audible. Hey guys, Jonathan here with TLD. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekday, weekend, whenever you may be watching this. Today we are talking Galaxy S5. Now I know it's officially been released for a few days now, but I kind of wanted to sit back and kind of gather my thoughts and really assess how I felt about it, because going into it, I had so many high hopes for the Galaxy S5. Once the leak started happening and it was officially released, I gotta admit I was honestly a little disappointed. Now I was not able to make it out to New York where they had a hands-on of the Galaxy S5, but fortunately, my good buddy Marquez, who most of you guys more than likely know, was down to lend me some of the footage he shot to use for this video. So huge thanks to Marquez, and definitely check out his first impressions if you haven't already, which is linked down below. Now I'm sure myself, like many of you guys out there, were crossing their fingers that this was finally going to be the year that Samsung ditched the plastic design and actually busted out a premium, well-built flagship phone. But of course that did not happen, but don't fret too bad, because we do have that beautiful gold edition Band-Aid Galaxy S5, which honestly kind of looks like someone jacked minus his fugly stick, duct taped a golf ball to it, smacked the Galaxy S4 right in the face, and out came this monstrosity. Now interestingly enough, when I was putting my notes together for this video, if you go on Samsung's website, they actually only give you a closer look at 3 out of the 4 colors. So black is there, white is there, my personal favorite blue is there, but nowhere to be found is that ugly gold edition. So do you think that Samsung is possibly, maybe a little ashamed of the gold colored Galaxy S5? Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear your opinion. So like I said, my favorite color is blue, but I'm also curious to see what your favorite color out of the 4 is. Is it blue like mine? Is it white? Is it black? Or do you happen to like that gold edition Galaxy S5? If you did happen to like that gold one, I actually found some pretty awesome accessories that'll actually match that pretty well. You guys want to check those out, linked down below. Now real quickly, for those of you who follow the channel know that recently I just got the Universal Audio Apollo Twin interface in-house, been testing it out, and I'm actually using it to record audio for this video right now as we speak. So let me know what you guys think of the audio quality. If it's good, leave a thumbs up. If you absolutely hate it and you think it's bad, leave a thumbs down. I'm just curious to see what you guys think. Now on top of the lack of build quality improvements, there really wasn't a whole lot spec-wise either. It was a pretty minimalistic update. We went from essentially a 5-inch screen on the Galaxy S4 up to a 5.1-inch screen on the Galaxy S5, same 1080p resolution, so no QHD or anything like that. And really the bulk of the updates came from features, which I'm going to break down in this video. Last year I did a top 5 features on the Galaxy S4, which did really well, so I thought you guys might enjoy a top 5 on the Galaxy S5. So let's go ahead and kick it off with feature number 5, and that is the heart rate sensor. So how it works is right below the camera, that is the heart rate sensor. You place your finger right there on the back and it will actually measure your heart rate. Now I've seen some people out there kind of dismiss this feature, but I actually found it really useful, because let's face it, all of us carry our phones with us all the time. So anything that adds convenience to our lives and equates to one less thing we have to carry, I am all for. One of the biggest reasons why I enjoy the iPhone 5S is mainly due to the M7 coprocessor, which helps with motion tracking. I always have that on me, and it makes for an awesome pedometer. The integration with the apps, the ability to recall previous information. So for example, if you just installed a new fitness app, it will actually recall the previous information on your walking steps because it is actually stored onto the chip. So I think with the Galaxy S5 having the heart rate sensor built in, it gives it that potential to be useful like the M7 coprocessor on the iPhone 5S. Plus, the integration with the Gear 2 and Gear Fit looks kind of awesome. I don't know about you guys, but something about that Gear Fit is kind of sexy. Next up, coming in at number 4 is the ultra power saving mode, because I don't know about you guys, but to me, battery life is extremely important. Now to begin with, the Galaxy S5 features a 2800 milliamp hour battery, which is not amazing, but still pretty solid. Because to me, as much as technology has advanced in terms of smartphones with displays, processors, and graphics and things like that, batteries are still the bottleneck, and they're still the weakest points of smartphones. I find myself fascinated by external battery packs. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the satisfaction or comfort of knowing that I have that extra juice. I caught myself on Twitter the other day tweeting out a shiny new external battery that I saw from Nutrend. It's really thin, and I think that's really because we haven't got to that point where batteries are as good as everything else on the smartphones. So the fact that the Galaxy S5 does have a battery extending feature is important to me. So you have your standard power saving mode, which is kind of what we've all seen before, and now there is ultra power saving mode, which will actually turn everything into black and white to really conserve battery power. So in the case where you don't have an external battery or anywhere to charge up, hopefully this will come in handy. So next up, coming in at number 3 is the fact that the Galaxy S5 is IP67 Dust Proof and water resistant. Not to be confused with waterproof. water resistant. Now, if you're curious on what the heck IP67 means exactly, if we break it down individually, IP stands for Ingress Protection or International Protection, and it's essentially a rating system of how well the externals protect the internals of an electronic product. So the first number ranges from 0 to 6, 6 being complete protection of dust, and the second number ranges from 0 to 8, in this case 7 meaning protection against temporary immersion between 15 centimeters and 1 meter for up to 30 minutes. Now, if the Galaxy S5 was IP68 rated, that would have meant it had protection against long periods of immersion over 1 meter and under pressure. So hopefully that kind of helped break it down. One thing I did notice though is at the cost of it being dust proof and water resistant is now the USB port is covered up, which I personally find kind of annoying. Some people really don't mind it, but I personally find it kind of cumbersome. Am I crazy, or do you guys agree with me? So now we are down to the final 2 of my top 5 Galaxy S5 features. That is a lot of 5s going on. And I think these could have gone either way, but my pick for number 2 is the fingerprint reader. Now cue the Apple comments, because yes, I know the iPhone 5s does have the fingerprint reader, aka the Touch ID sensor, but it's actually a little bit different on the Galaxy S5 in the sense that the API is actually open to developers as opposed to closed off like on the iPhone 5s. Now that can go either way in terms of security. How do you guys feel about that being open to developers? But it's kind of cool in the sense that you can now log into your PayPal account with your fingerprint, something that you cannot do on the iPhone 5s. Now, as far as how well it works and how accurate it's going to be, that is only to be determined, and I definitely will let you guys know once I get the Galaxy S5 in-house and bring you my full review. Now, closing off my list at number 1 is actually the camera, because the better the camera, the more I'm going to use it, and the less I have to rely on bringing something else with me to capture good photos or even video. So it's obvious that Samsung is a fan of the bigger is better theme, because they just keep throwing megapixels at us. The Galaxy S5 now features a 16 megapixel rear facing shooter, which will also record video up to UHD resolution, which comes in at 3840 by 2160. Now, one thing I'm curious about, and if anybody can answer this, definitely let me know, is if the 4K recording also has image stabilization. On the website, it says there is image stabilization with video recording, but I'm not sure if that applies to 4K recording, because as you may recall, the Galaxy Note 3 does also have 4K recording, but there is no image stabilization on that. Now, the Galaxy S5 also features a 2 megapixel front-facing shooter that shoots 1080p with a wide-angle lens. Not a huge improvement there, but aside from the numbers and the specs, a lot of the improvements and upgrades actually come from within the camera software. There's faster autofocus, which is always a plus. Real-time HDR allows you to preview HDR mode live as you're looking through the video or the photos, so you don't have to wait till after the fact to actually see what that will look like. And then lastly, selective focus allows you to really pinpoint the subject by blurring out the background and giving you more detail on that subject. So that wraps up my top 5 Galaxy S5 features. Definitely let me know your favorite feature with a comment down below. Was it one of mine, or was it something completely different? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did and you are feeling like being awesome, make sure to hit that like button. It is much appreciated, and of course you get a virtual high five at your face. Now, real quickly, before I hop out of here, I want to give a huge thank you to Audible, who is a huge supporter of the channel. For those of you guys who aren't aware, Audible absolutely kills it in the audiobook industry. They have over 150,000 downloadable titles. Now myself, I really don't get a whole lot of free time, so the fact that I can consume a book while I'm driving or at the gym, places where I really couldn't before, is awesome. Now, if anybody out there is a fan of Gary Vaynerchuk or Gary V, I initially got into his work from his book Crush It, which I read a few years back, and it really kind of propelled me into the YouTube and kind of entrepreneur world. And I recently downloaded that on Audible so I could re-listen to it since it's been a couple years, and it was definitely a kick in the pants in terms of motivation goes. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend it. And you can actually get it for free by heading over to audible.com/today. You can choose that book, which if you are into the entrepreneur thing, I would highly recommend checking out, or any other book on there of your choice. Again, that's audible.com/today. Make sure to use that link so they know we sent you. You guys get a free book, you guys help support the channel, and everybody wins. Aside from that, again, thank you guys very much for watching. If you have any questions on the Galaxy S5 or tech in general, definitely drop me a line down below. I try my best to reply to as many YouTube comments as humanly possible. It does get a little hard sometimes, so the absolute best way to get in touch with me is on Twitter at TLDtoday. I'm on there pretty much all the time, so there's a really good chance you get a reply. Plus, you'll get sneak peeks of what's coming out next, and also behind the scenes looks at videos just like this one. If you guys have any questions on the gear that I use or anything that you see on the desk that you are curious about, those are both linked down below as well. Again, this is Jonathan with TLD, and I will see you guys later.